Let's upgrade from this to this. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be opening this very special package that's come all the way from China and seeing what's inside it. Now, a lot of you might know that I shoot underwater using a SeaFrogs underwater housing for my Sony A7Riii, which is what I'm filming on right now. And in fact, a lot of you probably found this channel from one of my review videos. Now, SeaFrogs have actually updated the design for their housings for the Sony A7Riii, and spoiler alert, that's what's inside here. So this is what's inside of the package. We've got a new wide-angle dome port. If you've seen any of my photography on Instagram or on YouTube here, you'll know that I do a lot of wide-angle stuff, lots of megafauna, so this is going to come in crucial for that. Then they've also sent me a new housing. So this is the salted line version of their new A7Riii housing. Really excited to test this out. And then they've also sent me a new tray to put the housing on as well, so that's pretty cool. Now, as far as the dome port goes, there isn't going to be anything super different about this. I've already got a dome port, which you've probably seen in review videos before, but this is an 8-inch dome port. The bigger the dome, the better it is for trying to get split shots in focus. So this is as big as they go. Now, the main reason they sent me this is to review their new housing. So I've been really looking forward to seeing this. I've seen a couple of teasers online as to the new design of the housing. They made some changes, which I think are going to make it a lot easier to use. So if I take it off the base plate here, I think I'll be able to use these screws with the actual tray that they sent me as well. So this is the actual housing itself. It feels pretty much the same size as the old one. I'm going to do a comparison in a second, but the thing that I'm most excited about for this one potentially is this backplate here. So if I take off the protective sticker, you can see here that there's a bigger area now to see the back LCD screen. Now this obviously isn't going to change the size of the LCD screen on your actual camera, but I feel like this is going to make it a little bit easier to see the back when you're filming. It's one of the biggest issues we have with these cameras is that without an external monitor, it can be kind of hard to see what you're doing. So I'm excited to test this out underwater and see if this actually helps with that. Now, the other big change that they've made to these housings in comparison to the previous models is the side latches. Now, on the previous model, you can only open it from one side. You couldn't take the entire back panel off. Now, with this one, there are latches on both sides, which are going to allow you to take off this entire back panel. It's going to make it a little bit easier to get in and out of the housing, I think. Now, another little small addition that I've just seen this housing has, which I really like. I'm all about the small details that make usability a little bit easier. And with this one, they've attached this little base cover plate to this housing, which in the previous models they didn't have. Now, as far as I know, in the previous models, they only had covers for the ports themselves, not the actual housing. Now, this was a bit of a pain in the previous models when transporting because it allows sand and dust to get into the actual housing itself. This not only is a pain to get out, but also affects how watertight the housing can be. So it's cool that they've added this little feature to it as well. This is going to be great when transporting the housing. The housing also comes with a set of instructions and it shows you how to change ports on and off. Their YouTube channel is actually really good as well. They have simple manuals on how you can change your ports on and off, attach the vacuum, all that kind of thing. It's also come with a couple of stickers, which is nice. And then it's got an accessory pack in here. Now, in the accessory pack, we've got a few different things. First up, we've got spare O-rings. So it looks like this housing has an O-ring in the body as well as in the back plate as well. So you've got two separate spare O-rings for that. It also comes with the accessories to help with that. So it's got a little thing there to help pull the O-rings out, as well as extra lubrication as well. Very importantly, it's got these anti-fog sheets. These are crucial when you're shooting. If you've seen any of my reviews or have talked to me about using these housings or any underwater housing in general, you're going to want to use some kind of anti-fog device inside of the housing to stop it fogging up in warm conditions. So if we look at the side-by-side comparison here, we can see some of the changes in the new version of the housing. One of the first differences that I see straight off the bat is that the location of the vacuum pump has been changed on the new version of the housing. On the old version of the housing, the vacuum pump slot is here on the side, whereas on the new version of the housing, it's here on the top of the housing. Now this just makes much more sense. Sometimes it was a little bit annoying on this old version when you're trying to pump it. The vacuum wouldn't just stay on because it's much more easier just to do it from the top like that. The vacuum just stays easier. So this just makes much more sense. It's just going to be much faster and easier to vacuum the housing this way. Now, obviously, the other massive change that we want to see is how much bigger the LCD screen area on the new version of the housing is compared to the old version. And if I show you like that, you can see just how drastically bigger that is. It's probably 2 to 3 times bigger now on the new version. Now, it's yet to be seen, of course, whether this increase in the back panel size corresponds to it being easier to see the LCD screen or not, but in my head I feel like it is going to make it a little bit easier. It might reduce some of that glare as well. Now, this isn't going to be a full review video. I'm going to put this housing through its paces in the next month in Mexico, Colombia and the Dominican Republic, and I'm going to come back with a very thorough review of this housing to show you guys exactly what I think of it. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for that in the future. This is just an unboxing video to show you exactly what you get in one of these packages, so that if you've been thinking about buying one of these housings, you know exactly what you're getting and whether you need to buy certain accessories or not. I'm super excited to go and test this out in the field. I've been looking forward to this for a little while, and I've got some really exciting shoots coming up where I'm going to test it out. So make sure you're following me over on Instagram and subscribe to the channel to find out when I post that review video as well. Now, if you've been thinking about upgrading to one of these housings, check the links that I have in the description below. There's a couple of different websites that you want to order from according to which part of the world you're ordering from. And there's also, most importantly, a discount code that I have in there, which will save you some money off one of these housings and really anything off the SeaFrogs website as well. So go and use that discount code if you're interested in upgrading. Hopefully this video has been helpful if you've been thinking about upgrading to one of these housings and maybe it's just giving you that little push to go and grab one. Make sure to come back and check out the full review video that I make from this housing in the next couple of months. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.